Good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. Thank you for tuning in for yet another video discussion. We are still in the book Made Whole, again available uh, paperback, digital, audio, all the things for you to take part of it. I also want to drop a little commercial break before we get started and say if you are not already, that you get on my email list or in my community group. The links are in my bio for you to choose whichever platform you desire. But tonight is chapter, what chapter we on? 3, 4. He had me at hello. He had me at hello. He had me at hello is I should know these things. 4, chapter 4. And the backstory behind he had me at hello was, of course, getting involved in a relationship. And I fell completely right on in, um, first time around. And how when we aren't healed or whole individuals, that we tend to go with the nice, shiny object that we think is good for us, and it's really not. So, to get into the story, so you've heard from the previous video that I had this diagnosis that I was dealing with. But at this point now, I'm about 2 years, um, 2 years past that time frame. Um, I have been single for about 2 years as well. Um, I decided to end the relationships that I was in previously with, trying to rush the whole thing with creating my own timeline and manipulating plans on to work on my behalf. So I'm chilling. I'm still working. I'm in my career. I am on my own. I am managing the diagnosis that I have. So life is great. Like it's going good. So I think, I guess. um, I'm minding my business as always, doing what I do day to day. And a guy reaches out to me. Now, to get the full story, because I go into some great detail about how this guy wooed me over. It's in the book. You have to read that chapter. But for the sake of the video and time, I'm just going to say that he came with some good game. He knew what to say. He looked good in all of his pictures. Not going to lie, he even looked like he smelled good in them pictures. Um, but yeah, like he had an approach, and I took the approach. Um, Definitely won me over, just like I said, based on conversation, and we had a lot of things in common, and it just felt like, oh my God, like I finally have someone that has the same desires that I have, that has the same common interests and common goals that I have. Like this clear. I mean, this is it. But lesson one that I want to leave is that commonality does not equate to compatibility. Just because you have things in common with someone does not mean that that person is for you. Because you have the same desires as someone does also not mean that you all are a good fit together. You just want the same things, but that doesn't mean that you have to want those same things together. So time transpired, trying to make this new relationship that I felt like was different than all the other ones. Like I said, we shared same goals, we shared interests. So I thought early on, and then things began to change. Um, to make a long story short, it was like sleeping with the enemy changed. Um, Things took a turn where abuse started happening, whether it was mental, emotional, a lot of arguments were taking place, just a lot of things that were transpiring that I didn't understand why. We've talked about all of these things and talked about being together and talked about, making life work for one another. And now I'm feeling like I'm getting the short end of the stick. Um, and it was very confusing to me, but I knew what I wanted, and it was like, I'm going to make this work no matter, you know, in my mind, if we go through the hard things first and get it out the way, then all of that will be behind us. And it's really, it works to that, to that extent, to a certain degree, but that's not the mentality to have going into something, especially if there is abuse attached to that. What I will say is that when we aren't good individually, then we tend to hook up with other people who aren't good within themselves either. It's like trauma attracting trauma. Um, because previously I was I had all these emotions and was had all these attachments, and I thought I was good by separating myself from the people that I was dating. But when nothing has been done internally and you haven't done the work within yourself, you're still going to attract the same type of people. They're in a different body, but it's the same person. So until you are good on the inside, everybody that you attract is going to be the same. That was a hard lesson to learn, but nevertheless, that's what it was. So, I'm convincing myself that this is the one. We shared everything, but again, um, no one should stay in anything when abuse is in the picture. Whether that is verbal, whether that is physical, whether that is emotional, that should not happen. And manipulation also is a thing. I know, in today's time, we're so big on, the narcissistic behavior and all that. But yes, all of that is red flags, no nos. You cannot be with someone who wants to manipulate you, want things to be their way, and try to alter conversations or actions or whatever to get you to react a certain way because they want it how they want it to be. Manipulation is a form of witchcraft. It is wrong. Do not fall for it, okay? Um, it speaks to a person's pride. It speaks to someone's ego and their way of wanting to control because they want it to be how they want it to be. So they're going to control how you think. They're going to control how you act. And those things are totally wrong. So that is pretty much the gist of that chapter. I explained in the beginning getting involved in a relationship that I thought was for me that turned out not to be. And in the chapter, I am not necessary. I'm telling truth, but I am not diminishing anyone's storyline. It is to focus on me and how I was not in a place mentally, emotionally, spiritually to take on such a relationship thinking that just because I left a person that was it. You have to do work on the inside so that you can attract different. But for anyone that finds themselves in a situation that is manipulative or abusive, or has recently got out of that, or still dealing with something from the past of that, I will uh, invite you to sit down with yourself to think on how we play a part in it as well, but you're going to focus on forgiveness. You're going to focus on forgiving yourself, and you're going to focus on forgiving the other person. Forgiving the other person has nothing to do with getting them off of the hook, but it frees you. Because God, when we go to God in prayer, and the Lord's Prayer says, um, we're asking for forgiveness just as we forgive those who have sinned against us. Like, we can't go to God asking God for forgiveness and we ourselves haven't forgiven the people that have done wrong to us. I will say to not seek revenge. I joke, I say I let my cousins have that part. Um, but seriously, like, getting the relationship was bad. You got to read that chapter to get the details of what that relationship brought upon me. And granted, I mean, I was jacked up, he was jacked up, but we were two jacked up people together trying to make stuff happen. And it was just chaos. It was like the more you try to make something fit that doesn't fit, it's going to be chaotic. Anytime you trying to make something mold and shape and gel together, it's like it the more we did it, the resistance got harder. And it was like, yo, this ain't it. This is not it. And then once you add on the manipulation and abuse on top of it, it makes it 10 times hard. But at the end of the day, it was still a work in progress on myself, forgiving myself for even getting into a relationship of that sort, dealing with myself. What was it in me that attracted something to that degree? And forgiving him for the part that he played in it as well. We are not to seek revenge. I will say to not continue to replay the behaviors that took place in your relationship, because it tends to weigh you down and it does nothing for your mental but makes it worse. Um, I am going to read Ephesians 4:31 and 32, because I'm not just telling you to forgive and to let go just for the sake of it, but it is clearly here where it says to get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Again, get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to each other, tender hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. So we're not just out here doing things just because, but the word tells us that we can't hold on to bitterness. We can't hold on to the rage and anger that we feel because of what so and so did to us. But we have to have an approach of forgiving. And it is hard in the beginning. And I don't even really think that you feel like you've forgiven, but it's like you have to mentally tell yourself over and over and over again, like, I forgive them, I forgive them, I forgive them. It's hard, but I forgive them, I forgive them. It's like you playing, not playing, but it's like you are training your subconscious mind to believe and accept that I have forgiven this person no matter what they have done to me. So we are letting go of the bitterness, we are letting go of hurt, and we are going to God just as He has forgiven us. We want that same forgiveness for us. So we apply it to other people and we accept His forgiveness. We go to Him. He's like, He wants us to come to Him. He wants to rescue us. He wants to save us. We just have to go to Him with an open and a clean heart and be like, yo, this is where I'm at, but this is where I want to be. The word says, I think it's somewhere in Psalm, I believe, where it says, come all to me who are weary and heavy burden, and I will give you rest. Like, He wants us to come to Him in any time that we feel any type of feeling. or emotion to come to him so that he can fix it for us. Um, but yes, getting in wrong relationships, it's a thing. But we don't stay in them just because we feel like we can't have any better. We deserve better, and we move towards better. So don't allow yourself to be in anything that is diminishing your character, diminishing who you are, that is controlling or manipulating you, that is displaying narcissistic behavior, someone that is abusive mentally, physically, emotionally, all of those things. Get out, do the work on yourself, love on yourself so that you won't attract wrong the next time. We're choosing wisely, we're choosing our relationships. And then at the end of the day, this is not even like about romantic relationships, but just platonic relationships, people that you want to be close with. You have to make sure that you are in a good space, in a healthy space, in order to receive and attract what it is that is the relationships that are for you. So I am going to end with the thoughts of heal so you don't choose wrong. Get to a place where we heal so that we don't choose wrong the next time. That will conclude this message, but there'll be more tomorrow. Again, get the book if you hadn't already, paperback, digital copy, audio. Also, use the link in my bio to get on my email list or into my community group. And I will talk with you all later. Bye.